This term we're going to be learning our personal passion projects. We're going to be doing them for homework, and it's going to take you all of term 2 to be able to work on this. What is it? Year 6 will know because you did it last year, but for Year 5 it should be new. It's an extended project that goes for the whole of term 2, and the purpose is to learn something new that you've always wanted to do. For example, how to play a new instrument, how to build a model of something, how to create a family cookbook, complete a family tree, or conduct a scientific investigation. They're just some suggestions. There is a catch. You will have to learn this skill well enough to share your knowledge with your peers, teachers, and parents, and you need to share what you've learned. Sometimes it doesn't quite work out the way you want, and you might not actually have a product at the end, but the key to this is, what have you learned? So even if it doesn't quite work, what did you learn from that process? Here are some photographs of projects that children did last year. You can see this is taken at the gallery walk, which was where the children shared what they'd learned. So these boys are watching and looking through someone's project presentation that they've made. This girl made a robot, and you can see the cup on the table. She used the robot to push the cup off the table into the bin. You can see there's a cup in midair there about to fall in. This student made a model. He designed the model himself of a castle, and you can see the photograph he used as a stimulus at the top there. This girl learned how to sew, and she made the dress that you can see there hanging up. So she didn't know how to sew at all, and by the end of the term she was able to produce that with a lot of help, I think, from her parents. These two girls both chose art and craft type things. So the one on the left made mosaic tiles, and she was designing jewellery and things. And the one on the right is an art project that this girl did. You can see the crayons that she's used, and she's made like a diary showing how she gained her skills. This boy learned how to paint, and you can see the amazing painting that he's ended up producing, but you can also see on the different pieces of cardboard he's labelled stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. He's gone through a process of learning of light and shadow and practicing different elements of it before he got to the finished product. It's very impressive. This girl, I put this one in because she learned how to do this lift, this particular kind of lift. So on the day, she had a video of herself and what she learned, and she could talk to people about it, but it wasn't something she actually demonstrated physically on the day, but you could see evidence of her learning in the video. You will receive a copy of these documents in your Google Drive, which have a lot more information. This particular one also has a summary of what you're expected to do each week and why. And it also gives you some information about how you can present it. So there's lots of different ways. Remember, you're presenting your learning. What did you learn? So you will need to find some way to record or take notes or something on the way through so that you have things you can work with at the end. You will also be expected to fill in this project plan each week. This particular one, I filled it, started to fill it in to give you an idea. So going to use this design project model: ask, imagine, plan, then create and improve. So for the first week, for the end of this week, you're going to be required to come up with an idea and record it here. Here's the ideas for my project. I came up with 6 ideas of things that I thought I might like to try, and then I chose the one that I actually wanted to do. Okay, and then I wrote down, well, why do I want to do it? I decided I would cook dinner, learn how to cook one dinner for my family, including dessert. Why? Because I love to cook, and I'd love to be able to support my family by being able to cook them a meal. I will know my learning is successful when I can follow a recipe, I can collect the ingredients needed, and I can cook a main meal and dessert by myself. I thought that was important because then it's really something that I've learned for myself. And then you also need to sort of break that down a bit further and go, well, in order to reach that goal, what are some steps I might have to do along the way? And so I started to work through that. I'd need to find a recipe. It's not too hard. I'd need to learn how to read the recipe because they use abbreviations and things that I'd need to know what they mean. I think I'd like to watch an expert cook and see what they do and ask them questions. And I'd need to go shopping and buy what I needed, or ask Mum to do it, or however that gets organised. And then do a practice meal with help from someone who knows how to cook, and then have a go by myself. So I'm not going to launch straight in and try to just cook something by myself the first time. I'm going to go through a process, and I'm going to ask for some feedback from my family. So I took this basic rundown and then I actually put it in order. It might even be helpful to number these. And so I won't read that all out to you. I'll put it in your drive so you can refer to it. But it's got more detail, exactly what I think I'm going to do. And then each week you will be required to fill in a diary. And the diary will be a record of what did you do this week and what was successful and what was challenging. So again, I just filled in the first one to give you a bit of an idea of the sorts of things. So in the first week, I looked through recipe books and I found some to try. I tried to talk to Mum, but she was busy, so I talked to Grandma, rang her up and talked to her instead. What was successful, I was able to find some recipes and I chose the one I wanted to try. What was challenging, it was hard to find time to talk to Mum, but I got around that by talking to Grandma instead. When you get to week 6, we've actually put in a special one here. It's a feedback and improvement week, which links into that feedback in the cycle that we had at the top. So you need to share what you've done so far with someone you trust, and it should be an adult or someone who's older than you. Don't ask one of your mates at school. It needs to be someone who is a bit older, has a bit different perspective, and they need to give you some feedback and perhaps suggest some improvements that you could make, and you need to record that here. And then hopefully that will help guide you. When you've finished your project, there's a final reflection to be completed. This will be done after the gallery walk. The gallery walk is actually week 1, term 3. So you have the whole of term 2 and then some time in the holidays if you wanted to use it, and then the gallery walk would be in the first week back. So any questions, you'll have a chance to ask me soon.